Coming to you live from Ursprung Gymnasium on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University, we welcome you to a day that some of us weren't sure if we would see. The 2021 basketball season is here. Mount Union and Baldwin Wallace will get things rolling with the first of 12 conference games as part of this truncated 2021 season. But boy, is it good to be back on the basketball floor after, well, almost 11 months, about 10 and a half months since these two teams have last played competitive action. Mount Union, the reigning conference champions. Baldwin Wallace coming off of a slightly disappointing season, but still finished with a 14-12 record and an OAC quarterfinal appearance. I'm Brendan Gulick. Glad to have you on board tonight. Today's game is brought to you by the Cleveland Clinic Sports Medicine, the healthcare provider for BW Athletics, by Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company, and by the Oswald Company. They handle all of your insurance and risk management needs. Why don't we start with Mount Union as the guest. Boy, this is a team that last year felt robbed of a chance at an incredible destiny. 27-3 record. They lost twice in the first 4 games of the season and then just once the rest of the way. And that included ending the year on a victory when they won a round of 32 game in the NCAA tournament, but never had a chance to play in the Division III version of the Sweet 16 against Wittenberg. They are led by two-time Great Lakes Region Coach of the Year, Mike Fuline. And of course, they will certainly miss their best player from a year ago, Nathan Bauer-Malone, who is the Great Lakes Region Player of the Year, the OAC's pretty arguably best player last year. Devontae Friga, Tanner Slack, John Carroll, all graduated from Mount Union. Nobody will forget that final showing that Bauer-Malone had against York, a 53-point outburst in the round of 32 of the NCAA tournament. But Mount Union brings back a lot of talent, even though they graduated 2 really good players. And there is a lot of high hopes for the Mount Union Purple Raiders here in 2021. Meanwhile, the Yellow Jackets have gone through some serious roster attrition themselves, and they do not return any of their top scorers from last year, most notably Luke Schaefer, who is unavailable tonight with an injury. He is back with the team, but not able to play. All right, Yellow Jackets in white, Mount Union in their all-black uniforms, and off we go as we give you the starting lineups. It's the Yellow Jackets first, Jake Snyder, a sophomore guard from Archbishop Hoban. Anthony Mazzio back for his second season after a nice freshman campaign out of Massillon Jackson High School for Mazzio. And the Yellow Jackets tried to have a little fun on the offensive end, didn't quite work out. It was Christian Pfeiffer, one of 2 freshmen that are starting, 6'9" freshman forward out of Amherst. Drew Wenz, a freshman guard from Huron, and of course Shane Zalba, who's been with the program now for a couple years. He's a junior and a former Mentor Cardinal. He, along with Terrell Hicks, the only guys on this entire roster that are juniors. There are no seniors other than Luke Schaefer on this team. It is a very young Yellow Jacket team. For Mount Union, that's Logan Hill, who transferred in to Mount Union last year and made an immediate impact. He was a former Division I player and a very good post player, 6'7", 205, also a former Polar Bear from Massillon Jackson. On his way up the floor, Braden Poole backing down Mazzio, bullying him a bit, turns and scores. Braden Poole, a 6'5" junior from McDonald. Ethan Stanislawski, the junior guard from Massillon Jackson, gets the start, along with Chris Painter Jr. from Akron St. Vincent St. Mary, as Mazzio hits a 3. And last but not least, the most star-studded player on the floor, certainly by what he's accomplished, is junior guard Colin Gurley, who has the ball here on the left side. This young man is the real deal, and you knew it right away from the start of his freshman year. He's now a junior after he missed that little floater and followed it up. Gurley had a fantastic season last year, averaging just shy of 17 points per game as Zalba puts one home. 6'5" Mount Union, couple minutes in here in Berea. Yeah, Gurley last year about as good a three-point shooter as you're going to find. In fact, he finished last season as one of the best three-point shooters in the country as Mount Union puts home a triple. Gurley finished 9th nationally in three-pointers attempted and 11th in three-pointers made. There's a three-ball top of the arc, and it's good. Christian Pfeiffer answers the Mount Union three with one of his own. So it's 9-8. If you have followed Tom Heil basketball for any length of time, you certainly know that his teams like to get out and run and shoot threes, and they've done that at a pretty high level for quite a while. 11-8 Mount Union after the jump shot. About 2.5 minutes gone as Zalba goes on the right side. Pfeiffer just made from that spot, so instead gives it up. Mazzio, a little fadeaway action, and he buries it. So both teams off to a solid start offensively. 1-point game, 3 minutes in. I mentioned Tom Heil. Hard to believe he's already in his 6th season leading Baldwin Wallace. He certainly has been in Berea for longer than that because he was an assistant prior to taking the head coaching job, and of course had 1 year between those two opportunities when he left the university and went to Defiance. Here's a three-ball left side. It's pure. Drew Wenz buries one. All right, so this Yellow Jacket team ready to rock right out of the gates, shooting it well from distance. How about a perfect 3-for-3 start from behind the three-point line? The Yellow Jackets haven't missed a shot yet. They've got a 13-11 lead. More on Coach Heil and the team when we come back. Baldwin Wallace out front here early in their first game, 2021. Jackets 13, Purple Raiders 11. The opening night of the OAC basketball season here in 2021. 13-11, Mount Union with the ball. I mentioned Coach Hiles in his 6th year. He's got a record of 70-42 at BW, 92-49 overall. He had 1 year at Defiance, and they were awfully good in that one season. Braden Poole, nice job, high off the window for 2. So it ties things up at 13 apiece. Of course, the Yellow Jackets don't have too many players left from the OAC championship team from a couple years ago as Gurley raises and misfires. Pfeiffer couldn't control it. Hill, a little out of control as he tried to turn around and score. It'll stay on this end of the floor. Anyways, not too many guys still on this Baldwin Wallace roster that were part of the 2019 OAC Tournament Championship. Yellow Jackets with that sweet, sweet run. 3 straight road games in the tournament. And they capped it off in Alliance, knocking off Mount Union. There's a 3-ball from the right corner. Both these teams are letting it fly from deep. Ethan Stanislawski, no problem. 16-13 Purple Raiders, 15-38 opening half. Mazzio, good find to a new guy who just checked into the game. That is Wadsworth native and sophomore Jackson Sims. Sims, another one of the new faces for BW this year. There are quite a few of them. Baseline inbound coming. By the way, didn't mention our referees. Jim Dayton, the head official. Adam Reimer and Dan Fauser also officiating tonight's game. Boy, Snyder could not be more open, and you could hear the frustration from the Mount Union bench. Purple Raiders didn't do a very good job boxing out, but eventually they get away with it. Braden Poole comes down with the missed second chance opportunity rebound. Gurley, step back and pure. 19-13. It's the first time Gurley has flexed his muscles with a little step back, but of course he's already off to a good start offensively with 8 points. A foul on that far side. Mike Feuline, I mentioned, all the accolades that Tom Heil has accumulated. These two coaches have so much respect and admiration for each other. Mike Fuline's team a year ago was as good as anybody in college basketball at this level. I mean, he really has been a phenomenal head coach, but I'm not sure he's had a team quite as good as the one he had last year, and I say that well aware of the fact that they won the OAC championship and went to the NCAA Sweet 16 back in the 2014-15 season. This is his 11th year as the head coach now in Alliance, and for as good a coach as he is, Mike Fuline's a really, really good guy and has done just a marvelous job with this Purple Raider program, a school that certainly has had a lot of success in the football field. He has helped them achieve some high heights in basketball too. Another good three-point shot from Stanislawski. It's 22-15, high scoring beginning of this game. Both teams are shooting it well. Little help there from Wenz, who decides to drive, and a great rejection from Poole. Boy, Braden Poole's length is a problem here early on. Now he pulls up in transition and hits the heel of the rim. So the Jackets go back to work, down by 7. Mazzio gave it underneath. Jackson couldn't quite put one home. Offensive rebound, second chance. And it misfires on the right side. The Yellow Jackets are arguing it was tipped. Drew Wenz said it right away. Tom Heil said it. Phil Cookta, Brian Schmidt, assistant coaches, both made the same motion. They're going to give it back to Mount Union. 22-15 Purple Raiders. They've got the ball and the lead. Stanislawski's already hit a couple threes. This one gets worked underneath, and it rolls in for Christian Parker. I beg your pardon, it rolls out for Christian Parker. It stays down on this end. Coming back into the game is Christian Pfeiffer. Right corner three, high arcing shot. Stanislawski, no. Here come the Jackets. Led up the floor by Samson Albert, whose athleticism last year was certainly his most notable attribute. He didn't get a ton of playing time, but it was certainly impressive in the couple of instances he did play. Boy, Colin Gurley, so good. That's not even fair. Rips another one through. He's got 11. We've played almost 7 minutes. Mazzio down the left lane, and he scores. 25-17, Mount Union with the ball and the lead. Gurley's already 4 of 6 from the floor, 3 of 4 from deep. Stanislawski's hit a couple threes. These two teams are both letting it fly. 8 combined three-pointers already. Gurley wants another from the same spot, and that one hit the front side of the rim. Here's Mazzio. Good high screen from Pfeiffer. Mazzio raises. Too much on it. Jackets have gone a little bit cold here. Now 6 of 13 shooting. Still not too bad. Problem is they're not playing defense the way they need to, and Mount Union is scoring at will. They've hit 11 of their first 21 shots. It's 27-17 Purple Raiders. Pfeiffer catch and shoot. No, but a good offensive board. Now Simmons lets it fly. Not quite. Stanislawski. Good crossover move. Little trail pass didn't connect. Instead, Gurley finds the loose ball. Lots of subs waiting to check in for both teams here. 10 to shoot. Gurley from way downtown. Bricks it. Poole grabs the rebound, and he got fouled on the way up. It's on Simmons. That is the first foul on the Yellow Jackets here this half. About 11:23 on the timer. Chris Painter Jr. back in the game. Jonah McCartney comes in, freshman from North Canton Hoover. And junior forward out of Twinsburg, Darrell Newsom, also in for Mount. And now one more late. Oh, you know what? No, that was Painter, who had run over to the bench for a quick breather. Just for a quick second. All right, stepped on the sideline, out of bounds. McCartney lost track of where he was, back to BW. Zalba's back in the game for the Jackets, along with Jackson Simmons here in the backcourt. They've still got Mazzio and Albert in the two corners at the moment. Pfeiffer sets this high screen. Zalba. He didn't have a chance to play perhaps as much as his talent would allow him to, because he was playing behind Michael Quiring, who was an awfully consistent point guard for the Yellow Jackets the last couple of years. Quiring among those who recently graduated. But Zalba certainly ready for this opportunity. And there's a foul on the floor. No shot. It's 27-17 Mount Union. We're almost halfway through the first half. A substitution for BW, Drew Wenz back in there. Jackson Simmons has a seat. Well, so far, the two teams certainly look like the early season jitters aren't really a part of this game. There's been decent rhythm and flow to it. A lot of outside shooting. Good tough play there, and Mazzio draws the foul. Anthony Mazzio, I know the Yellow Jackets have extremely high hopes for him. I think he's got a chance to be a really good player. They love his raw talent as a three-point shooter. He's gotten a little bit stronger here in the offseason as he hits the first foul shot. Jackets now 3 for 3 from the free throw line. Mount Union hasn't taken a free throw yet. Well, splits the pair. A little quiet in Ursprung Gymnasium this year with no fans, but that's just the reality that these two teams and the rest of the OAC will have to live with. A small sacrifice, just another one really, in order to be able to play and play safely here this year. Zalba on the right side. Good high hands from Adam Cheney on defense. Oh, great play offensively. Mazzio finding the cutting Wenz at another Mount Union foul. The Purple Raiders have a 27-18 lead, but things have been a little bit choppy for them here the last couple of minutes on defense. That's the 5th team foul on the Raiders. And another missed foul shot. Colin Gurley back in. Darrell Newsom has a seat. I probably shouldn't assume that you're familiar with the OAC's scheduling process here in 2021, as these two teams and the rest of the league were looking forward to hopefully playing. They pretty much had a moving target for quite a while, and frankly weren't sure if they would be able to play here this season. Boy, I think we just saw some zone defense. That is not typical from a Tom Heil team. It worked out nicely. Turns into a Samson Albert layup. 2-3 zone. Check that out. We have to ask Tom Heil about that one. That is not something we've seen from a BW defense. I mean, I'm not going to say they've never run it, but my gosh, I can't really think of too many instances where they've run a zone defense in his time here as a head coach. 27-21 Mount Union by 6. 9:11 to go here in the first half. Long three ball, left side, no. Wenz misfires. Both these teams want to run fast. That was a good quick play and a bucket for Jonah McCartney. This game is being played at a track meet speed. Albert looking in the low post, can't get some help. So he does it himself. He throws it over the rim. That was maybe a good idea, but the execution was off. Gurley raises. Oh my goodness. Colin Gurley is lighting it up. He's got 14 of Mount Union's 32 first half points. We've still got 8.5 minutes left to play before the intermission. Zalba sidesteps his way down that right side of the key. Anyway, so the way the schedule is going to work out here, every team in the league will play Friday and Saturday, or at least they're scheduled to play Fridays and Saturdays, 6 consecutive weekends. And they're going to play the same team back-to-back days on those 6 straight weekends. So unlike years past where you'd play a double round robin schedule and have a chance to play everybody in the league twice, you're only going to play as many as 6 teams in the league twice. And there are a couple of contingencies in place if certain games and things get canceled, but the way the Yellow Jackets schedule looks, as Mount Union pulls it away, the way the BW schedule looks, first half of the season is about as tough as it gets. Stanislawski buries a 3, 35-23 Mount Union. The Jackets play their first 6 games tonight, tomorrow at Mount Union. Next week they're at Marietta, then they host Marietta. And then the following weekend to open February, they go to John Carroll before hosting the Blue Streaks. And you could certainly make the case that those 3 schools, certainly the last decade plus, but definitely here this year, projected to be the 3 best teams in the league. And the Jackets get them their first 6 games. Could be a tough first half of the season. But the Jackets are playing hard. They're down 37-23 at the moment with 7:08 to play. Tom Heil calls timeout. We'll step aside too. It's Mount Union by 14 here in the first half. Back in Berea, March 7th was an awfully long time ago. Think about how many things are different in the last 10.5 months. Some of them obvious, and maybe some of them don't come to mind right away, but things have changed so drastically since the last time BW and Mount Union were able to play competitive basketball. And if nothing else, perhaps tonight just enhances your appreciation for what these guys are able to do, what these teams have sacrificed, and what a lot of our medical professionals have been able to do to help keep everybody safe. Logan Hill called for a foul. That's the 6th foul on Mount Union. 6:44 left in the half. 37-23. The Purple Raiders are off to a scorching hot start offensively. Colin Gurley, 5 of 9 on his own. 4 of those are threes. That's not exactly abnormal for him either, which is the scary thing. Here's a spot 3 right side. Snyder, not quite. Jackets have played good defense in the sense they haven't committed a lot of fouls, but it's pretty hard to contest shots like that. I mean, I don't know how you defend that. Colin Gurley hits another one. Yeah, maybe he's not in midseason form with the high fives. Logan Hill wanted to give him a little high five, and Hill had to give himself the high five. Shane Zalba, meanwhile, answers with a 3. That was hilarious. That should go on the blooper reel for the season. 39-26. Mount Union by a baker's dozen. Poole makes a tough move, stops, and banks it home. I'm telling you what, Colin Gurley gets a lot of attention, and he should. Logan Hill is one of the better post players in the OAC. Now he's going to get a lot of people's attention. Stanislawski definitely can shoot it well, but this guy right here, Braden Poole, dunks it home for Mount Union. This kid is really impressive. Mount Union pouring it on right now, 43-26. Another one. Can Poole dunk 2 in a row? You know what's on his mind. Instead, he finger rolls it home. Poole's into double figures with those last couple buckets. Give him 12 now. And the Purple Raiders bench coming to life. Mazzio contested 3. Boy, did they need that. 45-29. Jackets haven't played a lot of depth quite yet. Mazzio, Zalba, Wenz, Pfeiffer, Snyder, Albert, and Simmons, the 7 that have seen the floor in the first half, as Stanislawski continues shooting as though he's just practicing. Make it 48-29. They've scored 48 points in 15 minutes. We've got 4:20 left to play in the first half. Mazzio. He ends up getting the own rebound. Behind the back, Pfeiffer, you bet. Rather Wenz, I beg your pardon. Pfeiffer on the other side of the play. Either way, good effort there from Mazzio. It's 48-31. Gurley. Couldn't get it to drop, but he'll go to the free throw line. Now the athleticism on this Mount Union team is pretty noticeable. And the thought of, what happened to this Purple Raiders team, it was obviously totally not their fault, but what happened to them at the end of last year and their season taken away from them with a Sweet 16 berth. And on the D3Hoops.com poll, they received 3 votes for the #1 team in the country. They finished in, double check, it was either the 5th or the 6th spot. They were the #5 team at the end of the year. Swarthmore, St. John's, Randolph-Macon, St. Thomas, and Mount Union were the national top 5 at the end of the season, which was cut short by COVID. Of course, we haven't mentioned the BW ladies team, but frankly, they were in a similar boat. They were here hosting, and every time you see the camera pan over to the right-hand side of the court here, you can see the banner still on the wall from the 2020 championship tournament, when BW won back-to-back games, including a round of 32 performance. Gurley. Don't you just expect him to make it at this point? I mean, this is unbelievable. Colin Gurley has put Mount Union up 52-31. He's got 20 with still 3:15 left in the first half. Zalba, nice behind, or not behind the back, but kind of behind his head layup. Cutting through the key. 3 minutes to play in the first half. It is 52-33. Mazzio leads the Jackets with 13. Here's Poole. Oh, was halfway down and popped out. Poole is now 6 of 10 from the floor. Ethan Stanislawski has hit 4 3-pointers. He's got 14 as Zalba misfires. And Colin Gurley, 7 of 11 shooting, 5 of 8 threes, 20 points in the first half. So he'll chuck another one from a different area code. He was almost standing out of bounds. He was so deep. Just looking at Tom Heil's reaction on the bench. I mean, what are you going to do? How do you stop someone who's hitting with that regularity and that rhythm? Poole rips away the rebound. 55-33. Gurley wants another one. Unbelievable. Colin Gurley as BW calls timeout. It's one thing if you're not playing hard. The Yellow Jackets, I would not characterize them that way. I think they're playing plenty hard. Colin Gurley's got borderline unlimited range right now. 58-33. He's got 26 with 7 first half threes here in Berea. pride of the Archbishop Hoban Knights down in Akron, Colin Gurley. I think there are some in the Mount Union community that think Gurley's got a chance to have an All-American kind of season. And I'm not overreacting to the fact that he's had a great start tonight. I mean, he really has been that good for 2 years. And everybody around the OAC knows it. But he, for a while, he wasn't the primary scoring threat on his own team. With Nathan Bauer-Malone and Devontae Friga taking so many of Mount Union's offensive shots last year, and they were good in their own right. Nathan Bauer-Malone was the regional player of the year. But Gurley is ready to lead this team as Julian Berry comes into the game for the first time tonight. And there's a foul on the floor underneath the basket. Might go on Berry. 6'7" senior, and it is on him. They use that arm to clear away the defender. So free throws coming for Jackson Simmons. 58-33. Mount Union has hit 11 of 19 threes in the first half. This guy's got a few of those. Stanislawski up top. Goes right back to Painter. Berry, good ball movement inside. Simmons with the rejection. Good play as Braden Poole looked like he had a chance to lay one in. This is Luke Driscoll for BW. Leveski underneath. He's in for the first time. Simmons banks one home. Leon Leveski, sophomore from just across the street, literally. Went to Berea Mid-Park High School. He's getting his first opportunity to play for Baldwin Wallace. Final minute before halftime. Stanislawski popped away. Mazzio clears it. Jackets running it. Mazzio kind of quickly goes to the rim. I don't think either one of these two teams need a shot clock of more than maybe 15 seconds. They don't seem to want to use much of it as Gurley slowly comes across the midcourt stripe. There's only about 5 seconds difference between game and shot clock here, so he'll milk a good chunk of that. Trying to feel out that high screen. Gurley throws up a contested three. That one didn't go in. Mazzio with a good hand in his face. And it goes back to BW, 7.7 on the clock. Christian Pfeiffer returns for the Jackets. So does Jake Snyder. And it looks like maybe Trevor Mackey going to get his first chance. Yep, he'll come in. Trevor Mackey, a freshman from Brunswick, making his Yellow Jacket debut. 5 seconds to play. Mazzio, a couple behind the back dribbles. He's got to get it off. It was deflected. Braden Poole, that length guarding around the arc, bothersome that time for BW. And Mount Union is having their way with BW here at the break. 58-37. The Purple Raiders have connected on 54% in the first half shooting. That includes 11 three-pointers, 11 of 21. Since starting 3 of 3 from behind the line, the Jackets have gone ice cold and gone 2 for their last 13 now. Jackets just 42% from the floor. BW's leading scorer, Anthony Mazzio, with 15. 9 points for Shane Zalba. Colin Gurley with 26 on 9 of 14 shooting, 7 of 11 threes. Ethan Stanislawski, 5 of 7 from the floor, 4 three-balls for him. He's got 14. Braden Poole has a dozen. We'll step aside during the break. It is all Purple Raiders, 58-37. Back with the second half here shortly on BWYellowJackets.com. Well, Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets and Mount Union Purple Raiders in the opening game of the 2021 season are just about ready to start the second half. And BW has played fine, but boy, they haven't been able to keep up with Mount Union right now. 58-37 as we start the second half. If you're just joining us, I'm Brendan Gulick, and welcome to the 2021 season. And it certainly is a welcome sight for Colin Gurley. 26 points in the first half. He's hit 7 threes, 7 of Mount Union's 11 three-pointers. They are shooting the lights out. 54% from the floor and 11 of 21 from deep. Awfully good. Jackets trail by 21 in a game that was tied at 13 about 4 minutes in. Braden Poole goes to the rim and scores it. Poole is quickly becoming a must-watch player. I mean, for a guy that, doesn't have maybe the same fanfare that somebody like Colin Gurley does. He is a very good player. Poole takes his time. And in a very quiet gymnasium, connects on the free throw. Mount Union comes out in a full court press. Let's see what the Jackets are made of. Need a little help as Zalba can't get across the midcourt line. And they create a turnover. 61-37, and they come out with some intense defense, and the Jackets cough it up. For the 9th time, Mount Union only turned it over once the whole first half. Purple Raiders have scored 17 points so far off those first 8 turnovers. Stanislawski. This is Poole. Gurley catch and shoot. And that one landed out of bounds on the baseline. But the far side officials said it was tipped out. So it stays with Mount Union, 19 to shoot. Logan Hill hands the inbounds right back to Stanislawski. Azio coming out to guard him tightly. Gets the high screen, 7 to shoot. Hill for 3. He bricks it long. Well contested by Pfeiffer, and a whistle on the backside of the play. There are a couple of other games going on around the conference tonight, but unfortunately, Marietta and Otterbein are not playing. Their game was canceled. Ohio Northern leads Wilmington at halftime, 54-49. Mazzio sidesteps through the key, finds Pfeiffer, rejected by Poole, but Pfeiffer gets it back and scores. Heidelberg has a 34-27 lead on John Carroll, and I think there may be a problem with the clock. The shot clock's at 14, so they're going to reset that, and Mount Union will restart this possession. Anyways, Heidelberg is over in University Heights, and they're beating the Blue Streaks 34-27. And just about to start the second half, Capital with a 31-26 lead over Muskingum. Painter right back to Hill, and it's deflected out of bounds. Miscommunication. Just the second Mount Union turnover of the entire night. So the Purple Raiders go right back into their full court press. The Yellow Jackets have to see what they're made of here. Break it a little bit better. Snyder. Good find underneath. Pfeiffer, easy lay-in. Really good pass and turned into an easy finish. Christian Pfeiffer's got a chance to be a really good player. Hard not to like a guy that's 6'9", long and athletic. Almost trail blocked that one, but Stanislawski protected it well enough. 63-41. Mazzio, good pump fake, opens up a shot, which he takes advantage of. 63-44. Gurley in rhythm. Off the back of the iron. Hill, second chance, rejected. Pfeiffer swats it away. Mount Union will inbound in just a moment. Gurley off the high screen. That was much better defended. He just threw one up wildly. And now Gurley's the last one coming up the floor as he tells his coaching staff he's fine. Jackets certainly scored quickly enough with Snyder. You know, for as good as Mount Union is right now on the offensive end, they've had a few lapses where they haven't given a max effort defensively. And when you're shooting like this, you can absolutely outscore your mistakes. But it's cost them a little bit. Jackets have chipped into the deficit by 4 so far. Mount Union calls timeout. 63-46 early second half here in Berea. As play resumes, Colin Gurley is over on the far sideline using some sort of plastic piece to kind of rub out his lower left leg. So hopefully it's just something that tweaked a little bit, but hopefully it's not anything serious. Gurley's had a heck of a game so far, but it's all come in the first half as Poole scores. Colin Gurley is missed his first 3 shots of this second half. Zalba, Pfeiffer for 3. All right, Jackets are tightening things up a little bit here. 65-49. 16:30 left as BW goes into his zone defense. Jackets don't have great size on the floor at the guard spots right now, but a good rebound there. Wennis, look, he's a 6'5" guard, but right now he's probably playing the 4 spot on the floor. And obviously the 6'9" forward Pfeiffer gives BW a good post presence. You can feel the defensive energy ticking up a bit. 14-point game as Poole finds the far side. Stanislawski long 2. Mazzio grabs the miss. Mount Union led by as many as 25 points late in the first half. It's down to 14. Snyder, long 3. Not quite. Boy, quick move into the forecourt from Cheney. Poole feeds Cheney right back, and he's fouled. Zalba grabbed him from behind. Couple of threes in the second half have helped BW feel a little bit better about themselves. You might remember they hit their first 3 in a row to start the game and then finished that first half 2 of their next 13. There's a 3 from the corner. Chris Painter Jr. First 3 of the second half for Mount, their 12th of the game. Snyder on an island, misfires. Long pass, Painter catch and lay in. (70-51), Mazzio down by 19, passes left side to Zalba. Good work between Wenz and Zalba, but it doesn't result in a bucket. A lot of contact underneath. The refs let him play through it. Raiders want to run. Poole denied by the front of the rim. Logan Hill can't clean it up. Poole a third chance. No. Went for the style points. A little easier to swallow a missed dunk when you lead by 19. Mazzio step back triple try. Both teams are a bit off right now. Mazzio's played well for the Yellow Jackets. He's got 18 points, 3 threes, also has 7 rebounds and 4 assists. He's playing well in his season debut. Poole. Weak side rebound. Logan Hill immediately goes down to the ground. It's Baldwin Wallace basketball, but the referees called the timeout when Hill went down. Well, that was kind of odd. Thankfully, he got back up and he's walking off the floor, because Logan Hill, the way he went down, it was strange and didn't look good, frankly. But walks off under his own power. He's okay. Some changes for BW. Samson Albert checks in. Jackson Simmons checks in. BW down by 19 points, approaching the midway point of the second half. Zalba lays it in. He's got good explosiveness, and he can get up the floor quickly. Now Stanislavski. Still no Colin Gurley on the floor. Poole zips it underneath, and a good pass. Easy layup for Christian Parker. Parker, after missing his first 4, finally has his first 2 points. And a foul away from the basketball. It has a strange look on Adam Chaney's face. He doesn't understand the reason for the call. Darrell Newsome back on the floor. Chris Painter checks out. Snyder. Wenz. Too much heat on it. Rebounded by Parker. Poole looking for help. He found it. Newsome measures. That was ugly. Cleaned up nicely by Parker. Boy, for a wide open 3 like that, he missed the rim entirely. Well, they're playing fast. Left side 3 ball. You bet. Jake Snyder capitalizes. He's finally hit a 3, 1 of 5 now. Jackets are down 74-56. Logan Hill, Colin Gurley both standing up on the sideline, but I'm not sure if and when they would come back in the game. They'd turn around and easy bucket for Christian Parker. You know, it's a weird instance right now. Boy, great perimeter defense as Chaney comes up the floor for Mount Union. Oh, my goodness. Spins, gets hacked, scores anyways. Chaney with a free throw coming. It's a weird thing right now because, you know, naturally you'd say, hey, look, your probably 2 most impactful players, Hill and Gurley, for whatever reason, whether it's bad or not, it doesn't appear to be, but they're not at 100%. They left the game with minor injuries. So do you bring them back? You're up by 22 points on the road in the season opener. You know, conventional thinking would say no, and perhaps that's what Mike Feuerlein is thinking too. But on the other side of the equation, you know, you've only got a 12-game regular season. These guys have waited and waited and waited to get out on the floor. And you certainly, as a coaching staff, want to protect your players as best you can. And I certainly am not questioning Coach Feuerlein. I don't mean it that way at all. But there's something to be said for wanting to get in a rhythm early in the year as Albert has it knocked out of bounds. you want to see what you got. You might go deeper into your bench. Early season game with a score that isn't close right now. But when you only have limited opportunities, knowing that come tournament time, you want to be at your best. You also want to give what you think is your best group a chance to play as much as they can. Those are all things that coaches try to weigh in their minds, especially early in a season. Albert thinks he's got a driving lane, adjusted midair, and he got fouled. 79-56. I'll tell you this, I think BW is playing faster than they did last year. I mean, this team really wants to get moving. Albert misfires from the free throw line. Whether that proves to be good for them in the long term, I guess we'll wait and see. All in all, BW shooting it okay tonight, 45%. They've hit 8 of 23 threes. Albert's good from the line. The 10 turnovers will probably eat at Tom Heil a little bit, but with such a young team, again, Shane Zalba, a junior point guard. Terrell Hicks, first year with the program, he's a junior forward with, unfortunately, with Luke Schaefer injured. I mean, there is very little veteran leadership on this team. I mean, you're basically talking about Anthony Mazzio, who's a second-year player and a good one, but Mazzio is asked to play a big role this year. Raiders go barreling in. Oh, it's a charging foul. Wow. Referee Jim Dayton was trying to make a decision whether he wanted to call block or charge, and I think perhaps he kind of got caught in between. But he calls the player control foul. 81-57 Mount Union, 10:54 left in regulation. Nobody for either team individually is in any sort of foul trouble. Nobody in the entire game is more than 2, so that's not a worry. Mazzio from the keyhole fades away and misses. Albert saved it, but I think he stepped on the line. Yeah, he did. The other thing you kind of weigh in your head, you want to play fast for sure. But with a young team, if you play too quickly, mistakes can multiply in a hurry. A hand check foul there called on Leon Levesky. Third for the Jackets this half. 10:23 on the clock. It's a 24-point game. Colin Gurley, since leaving the game, has not returned. He's just standing over on the far sideline. Same story with Logan Hill, who left a couple minutes later. And a foul. Again, if you missed the note earlier, these two teams are going to play each other again tomorrow night, but they'll do so on Mount Union's campus. And the ladies' teams from these two schools will play here tomorrow night. 6 o'clock games. Donovan Morris at the free throw line. Too much on it. Freshman guard, former Walsh Jesuit Warrior. And he hits them both. I should say hits the second one. I beg your pardon. He missed the first. So it's back to a game-high 25-point lead. Albert. Pfeiffer trying to get strong and backs away. And Braden Poole pulls it down. Morris got a little tied up, and there's an offensive foul. Christian Parker, a little out of control on the post there with Christian Pfeiffer. So Parker picks up his first. And each team with 5 fouls here. Mazzio with 18. Zalba has 11. Pfeiffer has 10 for the Jackets. 8 for Drew Wenz. Simmons into the corner. Catch and shoot for Levesky. No. Cheney brings it up. He raises and connects. Cheney with 8 points. 85-57 Mount Union. And a foul on BW. Jackson Simmons called for the personal, so he'll check out. Drew Wenz takes his spot. Braden Poole also leaves the floor. I kind of get the vibe that Logan Hill's not going to return. He's put on a long sleeve t-shirt over the top of his jersey. Good active hands in the passing lane. And another rejection. Pfeiffer with a great block. And at this point, if Colin Gurley hasn't come back, why would you? You lead by 28 points with 9 minutes to play. He is an All-American candidate. You might as well give him the chance to rest if he's not 100%. Another good block from Pfeiffer. Albert. And I guess they call a blocking foul. You know, the thing I do like about Samson Albert, he plays with reckless abandon. You know, you kind of need to if you're 5'8" and playing college basketball. I don't care what level you're playing at. You got to be fearless and willing to throw your body around a little bit and try to go make good plays. And Albert is certainly not afraid to stick his nose in there. Hits the first. 85-58 with 8:50 to play. Got them both. Oh, okay. Morris and Cheney not seeing eye to eye, and Mount Union sloppily gives one away. Those kinds of things will happen early in the season. Mazzio, sideline inbound. Albert comes to it. Good ball rotation. Open three on the left wing. Mazzio's put back, no. Two chances at it. Wenz and Mazzio both missed. Now it's a high arcing three, and it's right on the money. Christian Parker, 88-59. Good crossover from Mazzio, and he gets bumped in the key. I'll be interested to see how teams across the league play on the second night of back-to-backs. It's not uncommon at all in Division III basketball. There are several leagues that, because of their geography, they regularly play, 2 games in a weekend. But in the OAC, historically, it's a Wednesday night and usually Saturday afternoon, occasionally Saturday evening conference schedule. So just not a lot of chances to play back-to-back days. But if you want to be any good in the NCAA tournament, you better figure it out, because essentially that's how the tournament is structured. 3 ball in the right corner, not quite from McCartney. Good effort from Parker to pull away the rebound. Now he steps back for 3 and connects. Mount Union 91, Baldwin Wallace 61 with 7:45 to play. Great extra pass. Easy bucket from Christian Pfeiffer. Jackets are in a full court press, trying to make life a little more difficult. McCartney tries from the same spot. Almost had a better result. Cheney cleans it up. Boy, Mount Union plays at this pace all year. They're going to score 120 points a night. I mean, this is a frantic offensive pace from both teams. But frankly, Mount Union doesn't look uncomfortable playing at this tempo. Right corner three, Jackets missed. Pfeiffer couldn't get it after the Wens misfire. I'm looking forward to watching Drew Wens develop too. There's a three from the right side, way off the mark from Parker. Wens has great size and strength for being only a 18, 19-year-old kid. And knowing the priority that Tom Heil and Brian Schmidt and company put on their strength and conditioning program, I can't wait to see how both Pfeiffer and Wens start to get bigger and stronger. A couple of substitutions for Mount Union, Julian Berry and Andrew Pucci. This is the first action for Pucci so far tonight. Freshman guard from Alliance. Mazzio hits the first of the 1-and-1. Second one, good too. Well, it's been a much more balanced scoring effort for Mount Union in the second half. Gurley has hardly been on the floor, so he hasn't scored. And Ethan Stanislawski, who had 14 in the first half, including 4 threes, has scored only 2 points this half. Jonah McCartney with another lay-in. Give him 4. 95-65, just over 6 minutes to play. Albert, good feet underneath. That was kind of firm off the side of the rim, but freshman Rob Watson from Nordonia in his first career collegiate game gets his first college points. Morris off the window for 2. 97-67. Mazzio uncontested to the rim. Timeout. Jackets. All right, so we'll step aside. 97-69 with 5:39 to play in Berea. Welcome back inside Ursprung Gymnasium, where the Mount Union Purple Raiders don't look like a team that hasn't played a competitive basketball game in 10 months. They are shooting the lights out here tonight. 50%. They've hit 15 threes. They've put up 97 points in 5.5 minutes. Pretty impressive effort. Meanwhile, Morris going to the free throw line for a 1-and-1 here. Five and a half to play exactly. And he misses the front end, so he won't get a second chance. Yellow Jackets making a few changes out there. Let's tell you who the new faces are on the floor for Coach Heil's team. Well, Albert's still out there. I believe that was Mackey that just missed the layup. They've still got Rob Watson, the third in the game. Leveski's in there as Morris takes a jump shot from just north of the free throw line. Aiden Hanusak grabbed the rebound and drew the foul. And Luke Coyne also in the game for BW. First one good for Hanusak. Just under 5 minutes to play. Mount Union stuck on 98 points here. Here comes, actually, you know what? Not Mackey, I beg your pardon. It's Luke Driscoll in the game. Freshman from the West Coast. Went to Carmel, California. Stevenson School. Morris picks up his third, team ninth. So Samson Albert to the free throw line. Albert 5 points on the night, most of which have come from the stripe. And he hits the first. Mount Union has 40 points in the paint. And they've got 45 points from behind the three-point line. 85 of their 98, so they've hit a few jump shots, but not too many from two-point range. Jackets have protected it a little bit better here in the second half, but they still have 12 turnovers compared to just 5 for Mount Union. And a traveling violation, make it 6. You know, when you shoot the ball as quickly as these two teams have shot it time and time again, as Mackey comes in for Albert. When you shoot the ball that quickly, it's kind of hard to rack up any sort of substantial turnover numbers. Good ball fake. Coyne kicks out. Leveski, no. Boxed out. Hanusak grabbed the rebound. 4 and change. Pucci wanted to step back, instead dished it off. Julian Berry backing down. Watson fouled him. Well, we sure do miss the band and the cheerleaders and the BW student section and all the good fans that typically attend a lot of these home games. It's going to be a different kind of year for sure. It's the first free throw misses. I think there may have been a lane violation. I'll have to check this one out. Referees are checking things out at the scorer's table. Perhaps there's a malfunction on the clock. We'll see. Anyways, hopefully you can see some of the fun cardboard cutouts across the way. I see Will Farrell and John C. Riley wearing tuxedos. I see President Helmer. Those are the ones I can recognize right away. I see Coach Heil's family is represented. Those are just a couple of quick looks, but I'm glad they're having some fun and trying to at least add some life to the far side of the arena. 98-71, Mount Union having a heck of an opening game of the year. Watson got fouled by Berry. So both teams have gotten perhaps a little sloppier on the defensive end here in the second half. That's the 10th foul on Mount Union. Tonight's game brought to you by Medical Mutual of Ohio, the official healthcare provider of Baldwin Wallace Athletics. By Buffalo Wild Wings in Medina, Strongsville, and Warrensville Heights. Buffalo Wild Wings, the ultimate place to get together with your friends to watch sports and eat wings. And by Barron's Bus, the official charter bus company of Yellow Jacket Athletics. 25-point lead. It's been as many as 30 for Mount Union. Barry trying to show off a little long-range action. Not quite. Raiders still hanging on at 98. Haven't been able to get over that hump yet. Good elusiveness from Driscoll, and he draws a foul. So Driscoll goes to the free throw line, and the first one falls through. Colin Gurley played 4 minutes here in the second half. Ethan Stanislawski played about 8 minutes in the second half. Braden Poole has been out there for a little while, longer than those two. Logan Hill only played about 6 minutes in the second half, before Hill and Gurley left with their respective, I don't want to call them nagging injuries, but you know, they certainly didn't leave the game feeling 100%. I don't want to speculate at the nature of how they're feeling right now. Coach Feuline actually just went over to Colin Gurley, and they're having a conversation from a distance. Couple more changes for the Raiders. Andrew Keller, he checks in. Elijah Cobb, 6'1" Elijah Cobb dunking in the pregame was probably the biggest firework of the pregame warm-ups. The guys were having some fun with him. 99-74. Good ball fake and drive from Jordan Garland, freshman out of North Royalton, off the mark. Under 3 to go. This is Aiden Hanasek, buries it. 102-74. Driscoll looking for some help. Good pressure defense. And unfortunately for the Jackets, they were standing on the sideline. A lot of teachable moments, I would think, for both of these two teams. When you're early in the season as a coach, you're probably nitpicking a little of everything. Trying to make sure you make the most of the few and far between moments that are provided this year. Somehow that one didn't quite drop. Well, I mean, I don't want to speculate about the rest of the OAC because it's probably not fair on opening night to be too heavy in the predictions game. And you haven't had a chance yet to see Marietta and John Carroll, although those games will be played against BW here the next couple of weeks. And you'll get a real taste for how good those teams are. I have to think that Mount Union's going to be the favorite to win the league this year. And they certainly have made one heck of a statement here on opening night. 104-74, 2:20 to play. Ball fake and drive, kick to the corner. Jordan Garland rings him up. 9th three of the game for BW. This is Daniel Lott. Just about everybody on both teams now has gotten into the game. Good up and under. Elijah Cobb gliding through the air and scores. Garland from the corner, works his way into the center of the paint, misses with the right hand. So the Jackets are going to start 2021 on a frustrating note. We approach the final minute of regulation. Good job by Driscoll. And a rolling timeout just to get a substitution in. This is Terrell Hicks getting his first chance. Actually, I beg your pardon, not Terrell Hicks. It's Wyatt Flynn, the freshman from Independence. A lot of Northeast Ohio guys on this BW roster. Luke Driscoll, the West Coast native, is the exception. But the vast majority of players are from Northeast Ohio, and that's kind of fun for the families of those young men as their careers go along, obviously beyond just this year. A lot easier to have your family and friends come support you and watch some of these games. It's kind of a unique thing. From the right corner, that one's short. And a foul underneath. Driscoll's got a little bit of a hitch in his shot. But we saw him in warm-ups, and he was hitting a few repeatedly. Wyatt Flynn at the free throw line. And the first one, too much on it. .41 seconds to play. Jackets down by 30, and it stays that way. This is Elijah Cobb. Mike Fuline's team, 27-3 last year. 25-1 over their last 26 games. And they look loaded up again here for 2021. Catch and shoot, Coins 3 is good. 109-82. And that's probably how it will end. Mount Union Purple Raiders, the reigning OAC champions. And they have done a fantastic job here on night number 1 as the Jackets and Raiders get ready to meet again tomorrow night in Alliance. Mount Union, a winner on game number 1. 109-82 the final. Leading scorer in the ball game was Colin Gurley, who had all 26 of his points before halftime. Hopefully Gurley is okay, and I'm sure Mount Union is hoping that he'll be healthy enough to play tomorrow. Again, I don't want to speculate. He looked like he was okay over on the bench, didn't seem to be in any agonizing pain, but once he left the floor, he never returned. Same story for Logan Hill. I would imagine both those guys would try to be ready to go tomorrow night. Yellow Jackets leading scorer in this one, Anthony Mazzio, 24 points, 7 of 14 from the floor. He had 7 of 8 from the free throw line, 3 3-pointers. The 24 is certainly a career high for Mazzio. 8 rebounds, 4 assists for him. Nice debut for the shooting guard. Christian Pfeiffer, his BW debut also was nice. Played really well on the defensive end with 4 block shots. And the 6'9" post player ended up scoring 12 points with 6 rebounds to boot as well. Shane Zalba, 11 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists in his first game of the season. And the rest of the Yellow Jackets contributed a few buckets here and there. So these two teams will play tomorrow night, 6 o'clock down in Alliance. The Yellow Jacket and Purple Raider ladies will be on hand in person here in Ursprung Gymnasium tomorrow night at 6. And we'll have live streaming coverage for you here on bwyellowjackets.com. Coverage tonight brought to you by Santo's Italian Restaurant in Middleburg Heights, family owned and operated for 35 years, and by American International. If you require a company with proven performance, rely on American International. I'm Brendan Gulick. It's been great to be back with you tonight. We'll look forward to more live streaming coverage of Yellow Jacket athletics coming up here over the coming weeks. We have wrestling coverage for you scheduled for Sunday. We'll also try to give you some swimming and diving, and maybe we'll get lucky and be able to do some track as well, but certainly basketball as often as we can here the next 6 weeks. Have a great night. Have a great rest of the weekend. We'll see you tomorrow. Mount Union 109, BW 82 on bwyellowjackets.com.